Well, as the race for the White House heats up, a new report from House Republicans blames U.S. leadership, including then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, for not stopping the 2012 Benghazi attacks. After a 2-year investigation, the House Select Committee on Benghazi released an 800-page report today that blamed politically motivated bureaucratic delays for failing to prevent or stop the deadly attacks that claimed 4 American lives. Meantime, 2 members of the committee felt they needed to say more about the incident than what was contained in the full committee's report. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Benghazi Select Committee members Jim Jordan and Mike Pompeo both joined in the media announcement of the committee report by the Republican majority. But they wanted to highlight a common political narrative borne out by the facts. So they prepared and released a separate report of what they are calling additional views.
Here's why we think it happened. We think it was driven by political concerns. And so the thrust of our report is a lot of it is about the public-private contrast.
Pompeo said that he and Jordan wanted to try to reveal a common narrative and sequence to the facts they unearthed.
So our report was an effort to try and develop this set of facts in a way that was consistent with the factual underpinnings, but we just kept coming back to it at every turn, whether it was before the attack or the night or after. We watched this administration behave in a way that was deeply political.
For example, Jordan says that a threat assessment revealed the Benghazi diplomatic mission was dangerous, but that the State Department kept the compound open and operating.
As one agent said, this is a suicide mission. Everyone here is going to die. That's how bad it was. So an expert in security says this is terrible. People are going to die here. But political concerns drove it, said, no, we got to stay because this is our foreign policy success story. This is how it's done.
Then again, an election year was near, says Jordan.
And then, of course, the false statements, misleading statements given to the American public were driven by the fact that they were 56 days before an election. So political concerns dominated.
With the election in the offing, Pompeo says White House advisor Ben Rhodes offered some advice in an email.
Remember Ben Rhodes. We all know Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes, the man who has now bragged about deceiving the American people about Iran. The fiction writer, Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes that night said, we want to make sure that the narrative this day, this isn't an email, don't take Mike and Jim's word for it, says we want to make sure the narrative this day is about the YouTube video and not about our foreign policy. This is while the attacks are still ongoing and not a single armed aircraft is en route to save these folks.
We are likely to hear more about Benghazi in the coming weeks. The committee will have a markup and hold a vote on the full report in about 2 weeks, followed soon after by a vote and probably more debate on the floor of the House. John Hines, One America News, Washington.